got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you, defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them, get round the back. Catch me if you can, cause I'm the England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans, this ain't a football song. 3 lions on my chest, I know we can't go wrong.
Evening, everybody. Evening. Hope everyone's doing great. I think the mic's working. Yeah, should be. Fantastic. If you can't hear me or something, let me know. I have no idea what's going on. Today we're going to be watching the Warhammer stream, wherever it is. Where it is. Then it's can I unmute it? Is it live now? Apparently so. Let's get that rocking. Come on. Also, hello to Stephen D, all the way in Peterborough. Lovely to see you guys watching. There's an advert, brilliant. Glad to see you guys watching. You know, can't wait to see you guys again whenever Steve decides to turn up to the pub. Today I'm drinking Inch cider. Cider for winners. That's what it is. It's coming home. That's what it is. It's a terrible stream for them. There we go. Oh, they're doing questions? Sick. I can't believe I missed most of them. Fuck's sake. Terrible. Hello, Jack Dimon. Hello, Jack Dimon and Nina. You guys are here. Much appreciated. Let's go. Here we go. All commandos are most commonly from which clan? I don't know. I'm going to say Goths. I don't know on this one. I don't know much about Orks. No, Death Skulls. Death Skulls. Feeling Death Skulls. Let's go with that. Come on. Better be Death Skulls, otherwise I will not be happy. Come on. Give us... Fuck! Fuck's sake, shit. I don't know the Orks. Not ideal. Not ideal, that wasn't. Actually, I need to open up the stream on my phone and I can actually see what people are saying. No, not that. My channel. There we go, right. Oh, there's Jack Johnson. Took your sweet ass time. Yeah, I saw you send that other message, Jack Johnson. I saw you send it. Yeah, oh, I retracted the message. Ooh. Yeah, grow up. Right, next question. Come on. I bet there's only going to be 5, isn't there? Yes, a 6th one. This Imperial institution also uses elite formations known as kill teams. That'll be the Death Watch. So we're going to be getting new kill team. They've already shown the trailer for that. It looks fucking sick. They're probably going to show it again, I imagine. Looks fantastic. New Orks. New plastic. Deathclaw of Krieg. Very cool. Very happy with that. And hopefully Black Templars maybe. Maybe new Tyranids as well. Let's find out. Also, I picked up a cool new thing today from the model shop. I'm going to be building myself a Stormhawk Interceptor. Well, I'm not going to be building that one actually. I'm going to be building the Storm Talon gunship. That guy. Building him. That's going to be a big project. Didn't realise how big the box was, but you know, we'll deal with that. It is Death Watch. Fucking yes. Steve didn't know that. The big bean. Hold up somewhere so I can see the chat. There we go, that's better. There we go. It's coming home, everybody. It's coming home. Got the England flag out. We're ready to go. We've got the shirt. Don't know why that's out. Forgot to put it away. Mainly the flag. It's the main thing. We're ready to go. I'll turn it down a little bit because that's a bit loud. I hope everyone is doing fantastic though. I hope everyone in the chat is rooting for England tomorrow. Because if you're rooting for Italy, you're dead to me. That's the fact. Who was responsible for redirecting the Tyranid Hive fleet towards the Octaria sector? Ah, that's Inquisitor Cryptman, that one is. C. Basically, they had a big Tyranid Hive fleet going in. They're like, oh no, oh, it's going to kill everyone. Oh no, they're going to kill everyone, so we've got to redirect them somewhere. So they sent them to an Orc stronghold, so basically they'll just both battle each other out, and hopefully they'll all die. Except that's not what's going to happen. The one who will win because will be stronger than anything that went into it. So it won't go well. Nursing D, Steve did know that. I'm amazed. I'm amazed he knew that. I'm amazed he knew that it was Deathwatch. Steve should paint Deathwatch. That's what he should do. Steve would be brilliant at painting. You're right, Jack Johnson. It's coming home. It is coming home. Wembley final. It's going to be fucking sick. Can't wait. Buzzing. Of course I know Lord Jack Johnson. I'm only one step below Henry Cavill. Get in. Just got a text from work. You can come into work at 11 o'clock on Monday due to the football. Fucking yes! Get in. They often referred to as an Orc world. What official imperial classifications does the world of Octaria have? Feral world, I'm thinking. Feral. Yeah, I'll go feral. No, death. Death world. Go B. I'm wondering what price I'll have to pay for that starting at 11 o'clock though. That's a worry, that is. I don't know. Whatever, we'll deal with it. Oh shit, press Google Hope. No, go away. There we go. Steve can't read, Jack, not me. That's the difference. Yes, it is Death World. Get in. Turn that up a little bit. I know, I'm well happy with that text. 3 books I've finished the Heresy. Well, Heresy isn't fully finished, mate. We're at the Siege of Terror, Jack Johnson. Yes, I'm very happy for that text. That's shots tomorrow night then. Let's go. Oh man, very hyped. The weekend begins, everybody. The weekend begins. Gives you time to mingle with my mates. It certainly will. The fact that happened live on a stream just shows. Oh god, Death Corps Creed cavalry companies known as Death Riders, I think. Because Be a Rough Riders, they're the Atalan Rough Riders, and they're Gene Stealers. Wild Riders, I don't know, and Ride Masters, I think that's what they are. I think Death Riders, because Death Corps and Krieg, innit? Makes sense. D, can you bring Steve to the pub tomorrow? Because I haven't actually seen him throughout the entire Euros, and I'd like to see him. Yes, they are Death Riders. Go me. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, I want to see some sick new models. Also, I'm currently building some Outriders. Got a couple going on. Ignore the white paint. I put some testing white paint on as I've purchased some new brand of paint. I've bought some Proacryl, which that doesn't focus, does it? Whatever. White paint and black one. Apparently they're very nice. He doesn't want to see me. That hurts. That hurts a lot, to be fair. Question 10. What is the name of the now dead world in the Octarius sector that has been consumed by the Tyranid Hive fleet attacking the region? Oh, fuck. It's not Orok, because I think Orok's the leading planet. I think it might be Urmuk. I think it's Urmuk. I think it's B. Oh, what's... Oh, here we go. Stream begins. Oh, here we go, people. Let's go full screen. Yes, this is the trailer. It's the trailer for Kill Team. No one's seen this. It's bloody awesome. Just seen Black Widow would recommend. Fair enough, Dave. Yeah. Unlucky. Pop. Bye bye, Orc Gunner. Oh no, not Bomb Squid. Biff. Very cool. Gets the job done, doesn't he? Pop. Hope it has 64 players. Well, I don't think it will. That's Kill Team. That's the new trailer. That's bloody awesome.
Welcome everybody to this very special Warhammer Preview Online Octarius mission briefing. It is my pleasure to welcome you today. My name is Adam Troke. I'm joined by my friend and colleague as ever, Eddie Eccles.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here as
Kill
always.
Team,
I'm
Kill
particularly
Team.
excited about this one. It's very much my jam.
Yeah, it's a good one. And we'd love to welcome all of you fine people who have come and
They're
joined us.
going to say, oh, who's here from different places in the world? Don't care. England's the only one that matters. We all know that.
Super exciting. And it's a delight to have you here. You've already read
Never going
my
to get a
mind
partnership,
quite a
ever.
few. You're already screaming into the internet the locations from where you are tuning in. Please do hit us up.
Blah, blah, blah,
It's
blah,
great fun to see where people have come in.
Oh, yeah, 120. Yeah, Kill Team will definitely have 128 people.
But we've got Georgia, USA, Glasgow, Scotland. It's going so fast I can barely read it. The Netherlands, Western Australia. Oh my goodness.
It's going so fast, no, I can't read it. Yeah, that's exactly what happens when you don't sell Age of Sigmar.
Tennessee, Norway.
People actually turn up to your streams.
So many places around the world where all of you awesome people.
No one
come and
cares
join
when it's
us.
Age of Sigmar. It's so
Promises to
funny.
be, hand on heart, an amazing Warhammer Preview Online. Whew. What is there to do? I should acknowledge some of the people who are busy helping make things work. Raf, behind the scenes, getting pressing
Raf, well done, Raf.
making sure that everything.
Whoever you are, Raf, well done.
We've got Notley and the Moderati
Keep it up.
in the chat, helping things to flow smoothly. And we've got all of you. But before we begin in earnest, Eddie, what are you excited about today?
Well, I think we know a few things already about what's going to be the shape of this preview. So in case you didn't notice already, and we just played it for you, so that we saw a brand new...
Maybe they just joined us.
They literally just joined us. If you did, and you've somehow been under a rock and not noticed the last 24 hours, we had a brand new cinematic trailer for a new edition of Kill
Yes,
Team.
damn right.
Yesterday, pretty much bang on 24 hours ago. It was super cool. We saw.
I don't know why they released it a day early though. I'm really confused by that. I don't know why they did that.
He's amazing. Anything that's a swig, I'm immediately in.
I don't know why they released it yesterday. Just save it for this. It'd be funny.
To be a good day if you were a fan of Orks, but not just that. Kill Team obviously touches on every part of Warhammer 40,000. Every faction kind of joins in the carnage. So if you are a 40k fan at all and skirmish gaming appeals, that's going to be a good day for you. But we've got that's not all we've got. We've got. It's
going to be like Warcry, where you have specific bands. You can't just have a model that has stuff. You can have specific models. Which would be a bit annoying, but you can probably get that.
I was talking with Raf. We watched that trailer through about 3 or 4 times this afternoon after we'd had our little mic test, trying to decide what our favourite bit was. Eddie, what is your favourite bit from the trailer?
Oh, so it's all so super cool. I mean, I really like the squig. The squig's pretty special. I do. I like the bit where the orc is just kind of like blasting away down range and just kind of unleashing firepower, and you see the kind of the comms operative sort of fall over because he's been shot through the wall. But the orc just looks like he's having a great time. All the orcs just sort of look like.
All the orcs are always having a great time. Much like Steve.
The chat is,
great time. Get a beer in them. Jobs are good.
The shocked burner boy. Don't kick the bomb squig. My favourite bit, I was talking with Raph about it, is you've got the orc up high, sort of blazing away with the shooter, and just like a never-ending stream of solid shells making their way through the drum mag, and you have to one looks to the other, and the little comms operator's like, hold on, my phone to my mum, hold on 1 minute, and the next time he looks back, he just slumps down dead. And I was like, oh.
That's a Space Marines Battlefield War game. That'd be really good. That'd be very good.
In the first scene, doesn't he?
Problem is, it'll all get
for that,
very samey. Like a bolt gun is such an overpowered weapon.
You just kind of see the explosion.
You gotta. I think it has to be a guardsman type game.
Somehow managed to come out of it.
That'd be the only way they can really do it.
That trailer who manages to make it out.
And maybe a Space Marine could be like the first squad, if you know, the commanding squad. He turns up, but then the enemies, the Chaos Cultists can have their own squad of Chaos Marines. Something like that. That'd be pretty good.
And the team that
sounds really good.
Are the team behind one of the forthcoming animations for Warhammer Plus as well. So.
Pretty exciting. A lot of people have been seeing that trailer and kind of getting quite excited about the prospect of watching more Warhammer animations. If they're anything like that at all, then we're in for some good stuff.
My friend Realnir in the chat has said, my review of that trailer is play for the objectives.
They definitely did, didn't he? At the end he was like, I could stop and try and fight this guy with the flamethrower, or I could run for the objective. It's the last turn of the game. You gotta, can I get within 3 inches of it?
Come on, show us more things.
Well,
let's go.
Apparently, we have a video coming up, but before we get to that, I will just welcome everybody, because the chat is filling up.
Stop it, you already have. You've already welcomed them, Adam.
29,000 of you. The little numbers are spinning wildly. Welcome to the
Give each faction special ability. Yeah, something like that. That'd be good.
Octarius Mission Briefing Special. I am Adam Troke. This is Eddie Eccles. And throughout the next 45 minutes or so,
45 minutes?
You on a tour of
that means we've got a lot of stuff to go through. That's good. I like that. That's good. We got stuff, guys.
We're going to be showing you some other awesome things besides. If you are in the chat and you want to pitch in, you can try. There's so many of you, the chat is flying by.
Is Adam Troke's model behind him in the cabinet spinning round? Yeah, it is.
Ahead of whatever your question is. I'll do my best to answer them, but
it's a waste of batteries, isn't it?
Thousands of you. I'll try and cover.
What's the point? So it's stagnant. I just sit there.
Right.
Oh, it's spinning.
If you're ready and I'm ready, should we show our first video?
Let's dive in.
Video, Raf.
Boo, what are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Oh! Oh, they look sick. Oh my god. They look so cool. Oh, look at those decor. Oh my god. They look beautiful. It's orcs. Mate. Bomb squig, there he is. Shooters, there's the triple barrel guy, the hat, he got a beanie on, just like Jack Merritt. There's more than just 4. Woohoo! Oh, nice new box. Oh, that's nice. That's nice scenery as well. So the orc stuff, barriers. Oh, I guess I've got to buy that, haven't I? Fuck's sake.
There it is. Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Octarius. Eddie, what do you know?
So this is a brand new edition of Kill Team. I think a lot of people who watched that trailer kind of put 2 and 2 together and worked out some of the constituent elements of it. But I think what's really nice to see in that new edition box set is that it's very, very faithful to the trailer and the box set are very, very
That's
aligned.
good. I like that. I like you get quite a lot of death cores as well.
Oh,
I like the little ruler. That's nice.
Right
Yeah.
down to kind of the scenery in the background.
That's pretty good.
The miniatures in there are absolutely stunning. You've got a brand new squad of veteran Krieg guardsmen. You've got a very thematic and exciting squad of commandos for Orks. You've got loads and loads of scenery in there. You've got all of the kind of rules and everything you need to play. It's an incredibly cool box set. Loads and loads of good stuff in there.
That's nice.
I
like
it's
that.
Exactly what fans have
Very
been
nice.
the sort of box set they wanted.
Dread to think the price though.
Loads
That's gonna
to
be
love about it.
fucked.
I couldn't agree more. Looking at the shot on the screen where you can see the entire contents of the set laid out, it is an absolute monster. I picked up mine from the office yesterday, and it has been sat next to me in its cellophane, just like screaming at me for about 24 hours now.
You dick.
Just so much in there. An incredible collection of Orc commandos. Obviously, the Krieg veteran guardsmen look amazing. You've got Orc terrain. Have we ever had Orc terrain before? I really can't remember.
So we've got some bits and bobs of Orc terrain. We've had like a smattering of it in the past. But what's really cool about this box set is that this is an entire battlefield of Xenos terrain, and that's something we haven't really seen before.
Pretty nice. I like it. Very
Been able to
scrappy.
kind of, have a bit
Looks like
of
Whiz Beach. So it does.
in the past. But this box set for the first time basically allows you to build an entire Orc settlement. As
Very
your
cool. Those
character,
Death
and obviously,
those
you've
Death Core
got
Krieg look
40,000 players as
fucking
well. You can
great.
use that and expand that
Oh
box
man,
to
they're
make an
nice.
Entire battlefield representing like an Orc kind of scrap shantytown that you can fight across, and you've got multi-leveled buildings in there. There's what looks to be some kind of like Orc drilling power plant generatory thing. If you go back and watch the trailer, you can kind of pick out some.
Just
of the
want
bits
more
of
Black Templars, yeah.
scenery
I'm hoping by the
shows
end of
up
this we'll
in
see new
box
Black
set in the
Templars,
trailer
Jack.
itself. There's also things like barricades. Some of the barricades are kind of clearly brought by the Imperials and kind of set up to kind of give them a bit of cover, because that's what you want against the amount of Dakar that some of these Orcs can throw out. And there's also kind of some scrap piles and stuff in there as well. So what's really nice about Kill
The
Team,
fact that was kind of
generally
kept
is
under their
you don't
hats
just get
is
loads
quite
of,
impressive.
Squads and miniatures to kind of fight with. At least as much about the game is the battlefield itself, and the kill zone here is a really, really cool, evocative, thematic kill zone. And this
That's
is
really
the
cool.
sort of
Very happy with that.
shantytown scrap settlement that will be.
Didn't really expect them to revamp Kill Team though. I thought it, they brought out a new version in the last edition, one with the flayed ones and the heavy intercessors. Didn't really expect them to. Didn't really expect them to kind of reinvent that, but whatever, fair enough.
Kind of sweeping across it, trying to devour the world. The Imperium sending in kind of like kill teams like the Death Korps of Krieg we see here to kind of undermine the Orc Empire and try to kind of sabotage bits of it to make sure that it doesn't grow too powerful. And that's kind of the setup for this Kill Team box set, is one of those teams trying to undermine a kind of the Orc infrastructure, which is easier said than done, because it tends to be like its creators pretty durable.
Well, there we go.
So,
Very
chat,
cool.
I've seen loads of questions flying out. I'm making a note of them.
Reading the books, not at the moment. I still need to finish Devastation of Battle, to be honest.
Towards the end, so
But
keep them coming in if they're about the Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team.
I really like that squig. That squig looks very cool with his weird zip-up mask thing with a grappling hook. And then the top left guy.
One half of the Orc Commando Kill Team. It is just
That's
incredible.
very cool.
What like characterful models, and in
Look
our
at them.
previously, yes, that was a grot with a grapple gun you saw.
Yeah, so there's loads of really cool things about this commando set. I think one of the things that obviously you'll notice if you're familiar with the current commandos is this isn't just a squad of guys with sluggers and choppers. This is a squad of specialists. So you've got loads and loads of options in this set. It's not just a case of run at them and chop them up.
I don't know what the guy in the
You've
top
got a
left's
guy in
weapon
there
is.
who's got like a sniper rifle with like a scope on, so he's kind of leaning into that kind of spec ops trope. You've got a breacher orc there with like an enormous great battering ram.
That's what it is.
The
There we
guy
go.
who runs in and batters down the door to bunkers and stuff, but also that's going to make a mess of pretty much anything it slams into. You can imagine that, putting a hole through an Astartes. You've got the orc knob in the middle there, who's kind of kitted out with loads of kind of spec ops gear. He's got his kind of hat and scope and grenades.
I like his hat. It reminds me of the
and that is the guy from
main
cinematic trailer.
sticky.
As well.
I've not had stickies for lunch.
You've
I
got
go.
the Burner
I
Boy
wish
again, we
I
saw him
had
in
some
the
stickies
cinematic
for
trailer,
lunch.
So I think a bunch of these guys are very
Yeah,
familiar.
it's really done to
anyone who's seen that
well,
trailer.
I'm
And
already
you've got
nearly
the
through
Korps.
Devastation of Battle, so
as you see,
can't
with
really
a
do
lot
much
of,
about that one now.
the kind of rabble that kind of.
I like the main orc in the
Ross
middle's
is one of
hat.
these-
Looks like
this
the guy
is a-
from Predator.
I suppose highly
One
trained.
played by Carl
might be
Weathers.
putting it too generously,
His
but
hat.
he's
I like
probably
that.
one of the
It's very cool.
sneakiest of all the grots, and who'll naturally gravitate towards the commandos. A very fun little characterful guy, and in game terms, effectively what this guy does is he's very, very fast and sneaky at getting around, and he can grab your objectives while your orcs are doing the crumping.
Yeah, a big shout out to whoever modelled him so his zip is done all the way up to the
Oh,
bottom. As well.
It's a really, really.
look at them with
fun
the beanie
little
on the
character.
left
What's
and the
wonderful about all
scuba
of these
orc on the right.
They're so,
Fair enough.
They lean really heavily into that kind of like 80s and 90s action film kind of aesthetic. So you've got all the kind of tropes of
Two
Spec
knives.
Ops and special forces.
3 knives actually. He's got one in his
done in
mouth.
like a really orky lens. So they've all got like combat knives and little pouches, and they look
That's a sight.
like the idea of I suppose like a real commando, but kind of orcified up to 11. They're really, really fun. Bottom left there, you've got a Dakka boy. That's similar to the idea of the guy we saw laying down the firepower with that enormous, great drum mag. You've got the slasher boy at the top there with the knives.
Slasher boy.
His thing is sneaking around
gonna
and chopping people
gut you
with
up
huge
if you
knives
win.
rather than Dakka.
Probably
You've
won't
got
happen,
the comms specialist in the middle there. His comms also double as a kind of short-range blast pistol thing, just because Orcs are
Okay.
anything as a weapon, even if it also needs to be a radio. You've got a rocket
What happened
boy
with his
there,
mic there?
and then you've got the squig in the middle there, which is again very faithfully captured in that cinematic trailer. He looks just like him, and he looks like he's having a blast as well. Look at him.
He will do.
My
Blow up
favourite
in a
one, and
second.
it's purely for the nostalgia of it all, is bottom left-hand corner with the tri-barreled big shooter-looking thing.
Such
He's
a
got
cool
one
gun.
of those sort of knitted woolen hats, which are synonymous with sort of like the Royal Marines Commandos or the SAS from World War II, and it is redolent of that classic iconography and imagery of the original Orc Commandos that came out when I was but a lad.
Yeah,
Ah,
do
I
Orcs'
love
ears get cold? Maybe. I mean, his word. There's a nice close-up on the Orc knob
big
there.
power
I think
claw.
one of the things that's really nice about these actually is that they have quite a kind of you could probably use them for almost any Orc clan. Like you could definitely. paint
What's
them
that?
white
Oh, it looks like
if
a
you
scuba boy.
want. They look
Weird.
very blood axe, which is kind of your typical Orc commandos. A lot of them gravitate towards the kind of blood axe thing.
What is a breacher boy?
A breacher boy is like your guy who just runs in and clears buildings, right?
Oh, so is that an Imperial Guard
the
helmet that
enemy's
he's
hiding
just
in a bunker,
stretched out?
This is the guy who runs up enthusiastically and just smashes through the front door, and then continues
Very
to smash
cool.
through whatever was hiding inside the building. So he's got
He's
loads
got a
of.
tactical key right there.
He's got a tactical key, absolutely. Yeah, so really fun. It's like we
Very
haven't
nice.
seen anything like this before, and it's really leaning into that kind of special operative sort of idea. Commandos have gone from being like a slightly quirky unit of slugger boys to being a really
Slash bow,
fun and
knives.
thematic thing. And all of these abilities and tools are going to make their way into Warhammer 40,000 as well, which is really cool. So you'll start to be able to use these models and use not quite to the same granular level that you can in Kill Team, but they'll get some of those abilities kind of ported over into the 40k version as well. This
That's
guy's
cool.
very cool, the Slasher Boy. He's got loads of knives. You can't quite see it there, but he's got more knives on his back.
It looks like the baddie out of an 80.
Oh, yeah, he's got the one coming out the back. Yeah.
He definitely does. So he's got knives that he stabs you with. He's got knives that he throws at you. He's got some kind of super sneaky
One
moves, so
there.
he can kind of
His
attack
belt,
and kill
brilliant.
people without setting the alarm off, sort of thing. So he's really useful. As you'd imagine, he's pretty deadly in close combat as well.
And probably the internet's favourites, the Bomb Squig and Commando Grot. I
like the Commando Grot zip. It's like
so
a tooth.
charming. It's like a
It's really
hoodie
good.
done up to his nose.
It's very
He's got
cool.
The big boggly eyes that insinuate that maybe he can see in the dark.
Also,
Who we're
fuck
kidding.
painting the hazard stripes on that
grapple gun,
bit on the bomb squig.
accompanied by a
Sod
bomb squig
that.
with a mouthful of grenades. It's
What-
everything.
what a
I
great
know.
thank
model.
you.
And they've put an awful lot of dynamite on that bomb squig, haven't they? There's a lot of explosives. He's got a mine underneath him. He's got some grenades in his mouth. He's got a little radio antenna that presumably blows him up. I think probably the best. We've seen a few different incarnations.
I see the Death Corps.
squigs in
Let's
40K
see them,
over the years.
baby.
This guy might
Come on.
be the best kind of squig-sized squig we've seen so far. Very
Yes. Oh, that
Here
mask's
is the
so
one I'm
cool.
maybe marginally more excited about, but I'm fairly
each
even
to their
split
own.
on this.
Mate.
The Death Corps of Krieg
at
Veteran
'em.
Guardsman Kill Team, outstanding models, really in line with that
143rd
fantastic
Regiment they are.
theme that
Okay.
was established by the Forge World team when they released those Krieg models.
Love that
I
skull
don't know,
mask
15
on that
years
sort
ago,
of
something
Commander
like that.
Demolition bloke.
And these have
Very cool.
really
Plasma
stayed
pistol as
true
well.
to that, but with some additions that are fascinating. Some of these have got very specific roles within the Kill Team, right?
Yeah, so this isn't a kind of. it's not quite the same as the Cadian and Catachan plastics we've seen for Guard before. This is very definitely a veteran squad of Guardsmen. So what you see in the squad is that there's loads of options
need more
to kind of
models like this.
represent kill team specialists, and that's
Need
something
some
that's
Mordenine
common to
Guard,
both the Commandos,
Talahan
and
Desert
the
Raiders.
Krieg, is that this is a kit that's been designed.
Oh,
for
the
the
medic.
So you've got things like the combat specialist, you've got the medic specialist, you've got
The guy with the robot arm on the left. That's cool. I like
you've got
that.
The guy who's a sniper. You've got all the different things that you'd hope to have in a kill team can be represented. And there's options in the kit as well to let you kind of either build them as your standard guardsman or to kind of build them as one of those specialists, as well as
good.
different kind of special weapons and
Happy to hear
all,
that.
all the stuff you'd hope to have in that set, basically.
Yeah, we'll bust open the boxes in a little while and have a look at the frames, but there's more options even than you see here.
Yeah, so loads of things.
Half
to choose
the
from. This is
kill team in the water diving team. Well,
Sergeant,
maybe.
kind of, one of the fun things about the Kriegers is they all have they all look the same, basically, don't they? They've all, the gas masks give them that kind of like slightly impersonal look. So all of the kind of character is represented through the pose and through the weapons and war gear that they've got. And there's like minor little variations.
I'm sure the guy with the skull
miniatures that help
mask
you
should
represent
be the
one
commander.
that's the medic, or the one that's the demolition specialist, or the sergeant. So this guy's got a slightly fancier helmet, and obviously he's got his power sword and choice of different pistols he can have. But he's fun, and obviously he's the guy who has maybe the most heroic scene in the cinematic trailers. He manages to take out an Orc knob, but then gets kind of horribly roasted, but does complete the mission. So he's had a roller coaster ride.
What on earth is a zealot?
Zealot veteran. Oh
So
yeah,
a
'cause you get
zealot
the zealots, don't
veteran
you?
is effectively one of your guys who is particularly pious, who can, is extra driven, and represented through this miniature by carrying his Imperial Prime around with him and his rosary beads. So his faith in the Emperor is higher than even the other Krieg guys, which is saying something. So
Where are the shovels? You're right.
extra
Where are the
dedication to
shovels?
Imperial cult.
I imagine they've got them on their backs. That's my guess.
Yeah, so this is a hardened veteran. If you look at this guy, you can see that he's not only has he got some extra medals from probably some kind of heroic sacrifices that he's made earlier on, he's also lost an arm. So his, I think left arm, you can see there from how I'm looking at it, is bionic, which is kind of cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
It
I
should have
like the
been
way
a
that
bionic
the
shovel.
fabric falls across the sort of the servo joins at the elbow,
I noticed. That's really nice. Yeah.
which is a really lovely sculpting detail. And he's in the middle of a mag change. Look at the magazine well on the lasgun.
Oh, yeah.
And he's clasping that in his little bionic hand.
It looks like he means business as well. Like, he's just kind of he's unhurried. I think is the
Medals.
Yeah,
So
nice.
this is a medic veteran. This is really nice. Anybody who's been following the rumor engine might recognise that medic bag. I think we might.
It
have
is,
shown that
yay, it is that.
previously. But this is a guy who, well, I mean, depends how badly you've been hit, I suppose. But if some of you guys get hit and go down, he can kind of run over and help them back up again. And,
Nice.
Again, really nice little thematic details on it. So you've got, if you look at the head, he's got that kind of apothecary symbol on his helmet, which is different from the rest of the Kriegers. He obviously
Very
has his
snazzy, very snazzy
apothecary bag
indeed.
of goodness knows what to inject people with to kind of get them back and fighting. A really cool thematic little model again.
This is everything you see you get in the set, shown in one galloping great big picture with fantastic terrain to fight across, and your Krieg
Ooh, that is nice.
commandos doing war.
Fuck painting it
I
though.
think
Oh
we've
my
also
god.
got an example
Ugh.
of everything that's in. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. So this is the terrain separately,
Yeah.
which go on after you.
Oh no, so it's just a really great set of terrain, isn't it? So we've seen with each edition of Kill Team that's come out, we've had a kind of a great selection of terrain, and this is no different. What's really nice about it is it's a whole Xenos battlefield, and you've got levels in there which are really important to the way that Kill Team plays, because there's lots of rules in Kill Team about making sure you've got higher ground, or you need to make sure you've got good lines of visibility, because it's all about kind of sneaking and stealth as well as kind of the no holds barred action.
Nice.
So you're meant to have a fairly dense battlefield to play it across, and this fills your kill zone very nicely. But you can also obviously use this and expand it across Warhammer 40,000 battlefields too.
Very
Keep
cool.
those
There we
questions
go.
coming, guys. By the way, I've got about a dozen or so questions to answer for you. Once
Very
we've
cool
had a look
Orks, very
inside
cool
the
Death
box.
Corps Krieg,
Here is
very
the
cool
complete
terrain,
contents of
very nice.
the Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Octarius launch set, and in it you see the Orc Commando Kill Team, the Death Corps Krieg, core book, an Octarius manual, a boatload of tokens, game board, combat gauges and dice, and we'll talk a little bit more about combat gauges.
They
in
should
a
have replaced the
while.
hand of the shovel. Yeah, that's what I said.
54 tactical ops cards, and obviously your terrain. That is quite a lot of stuff.
Tell us
Yeah,
what's
there's a
coming
lot in
out.
the box. I've got my box
Come on.
next to me as well, and it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. So there's an awful lot of plastic in there, but also an awful lot of cardboard and paper and rules and stuff as well. It just
I'm running
looks
out of
like
room. I need to move out.
hefty, chunky box.
To move out.
Shall we have a look inside? And see what
Fuck.
We
we
can.
Oh,
And I
fuck.
have tried to set up what I would call unboxing cam. So
I like that it's
there you go.
basically my quality of
There you
streaming.
go.
I like that.
So
It's good.
I need my seriously retro pair of clippers to.
I like how he probably had this going for a day and thought,
questions
I don't have to make
particularly about the
clipping.
concept of the box? that
Well,
we-
so I mean, the questions we've got to answer are: the first one is it limited edition or made to order or what?
So this box is going to be released as available while stocks last. So there will be a.
Just gonna sell out then.
We've made a lot in the same way that we did with Dominion.
Dominion. Yeah.
So there'll be lots of copies, but it won't be around forever. But the good news is that if there's any elements of the box that you're like, man, I want to make sure I can get more of those. I want more commandos, or I want more of the terrain or something. The elements will be made available separately in the future. So there's nothing that.
Get in, so we are going to get Death Concrete plastic.
To get it in
Separate,
this
yes!
combination of stuff.
Oh my
then,
god.
you know, swoop in while it's available.
That's good. That's going to be really good.
That sounds good to me. Somebody asks question why. I mean, I'm not going to prophesy the future, but look at the name of it, and maybe that will think of it wider, and maybe you'll get some sense of why it might not be around forever. Another question,
True.
as we
That's
open
gonna-
boxes,
this is going to
miniatures
sell
push
out
fit or
fucking
multiplayer?
quick.
That's a great question. I'm going to open mine and enjoy. I know some people like to enjoy the smell of their box set. I'm definitely one of them as they open it, which is
I've never been a box sniffer. They're
because it's made in Nottingham,
Box
right, which is where I
sniffer.
live. So you would imagine it just smells like where I live. But there's something magical about box sets. They just always seem to smell really nice. It's just me. So I'm just having a look. I'm going to dive straight into the Orks.
There is a lot of terrain.
That's
so
a
the
lot.
question
Look
that
at
popped up
that
in
top
the
left
chat was,
thing.
"Aren't Orc
Jesus
lives, sculpted on,
Christ.
or what?" I'm going to lift
That's
it up
going to be a
and you
sod
can
to
see
paint.
They are in
That
fact
oil
sculpted on.
thing.
If you wanted to use them for, I don't know, other hive-oriented places, perhaps you could, but you're going to contend with a few orky skulls. You could easily turn them into not orky skulls if that is your persuasion.
So one of the things
Also,
that
the
becomes
rangefinders
immediately
and
apparent
ruler
with
things are on a
Sprue is that
sprue.
There are loads and loads of options in this box. So
Jesus
there isn't
fucking
just the kind of
Christ.
one way to build up your Orcs.
Which sprue have you got, Eddie?
I went straight for Orcs, obviously, because that's the
Well,
best.
let me join you then.
That's
Let's see if I...
Cool.
So
That's the
here
Orcs.
you can see an orc sprue, and you're right. There is far more options.
There's a lot
I'll do my
of
best to hold it steady
customization.
for
Well,
a
not
moment.
customization, but
Chat,
extra.
and you can feast your eyes and try and work out what's
Nice.
going on. Obviously, it's a sprue full of models, so good luck.
So at a cursory glance, I would guess there's probably about twice as many heads as you need, and it looks like
That's
you
good.
can probably build every model in at least 2 different configurations of combinations of weapons and things, which is pretty cool. I'm also seeing alternate heads for the grots, so if you ended up with a few of those grots, you'd be able to have different versions, which is
So
pretty cool.
I have a few sort of plastic stats for you, as it were.
Oh.
All of these things, all of
Plastic
the models in
stats.
the box are plastic. It would be the first one. There are 150 components that make up the orcs in this set.
Oh, God.
So there is undoubtedly
Okay.
quite a few options. Looking at the Death Corps of Creed, it
Yeah.
says, scurrying through the box, there are 171 components, so even more. And you can see just helmets and...
That's a
Ooh,
lot.
hello, the chat's been asking for one particular thing. I'm going to raise it up so you can get a sense. I don't know if the,
Yes, we
camera
got a
focus-
spade, a shovel,
I'm
we got
just saying,
what
is there an
shovel, we got a
entrenching
shovel.
tool right by my index finger. Boom.
Thank God
There
for
is
that.
some
Thank
shovelly
God.
goodness. And actually, there are shovels to go on the pouches at the back, just there by my index finger.
It looks
I mean, where's the law,
Two on
Jack
this
Johnson?
frame
There's-
alone, plus the dug
They said this is a
I reckon you might actually have a...
this is a crack team who's going to destabilise the orcs. So there we go.
If you like grenades, and I do, there's a lot of grenades.
I think one of the things that's definitely true about Kill Team is that the idea is that you customize your miniatures and try and make them your own, and you decide that this one's going to have lots of grenades, or this one's going to be have all the kind of entrenching tools, or this one's going to be the comms guy and have all those kind of comms-esque stuff. So there's lots of stuff in terms of how you build your miniatures, kind of almost out of the sprue, as it were, as the kind of standby stuff. But there's also lots of stuff in there to help you customize them. So you can have loads of pouches on if you want, or no pouches if you want, or you can customize the base with like extra entrenching tools and things, or not.
Entrenching
This
tools,
kind of loose las
more
guns mixed in
spades.
amongst there as well.
I'm seeing a lot of specialist weapons. So far, I've spotted a melter gun,
Ooh,
a grenade
melter.
launcher, a flamer. The grenade launcher looks awesome, by the way. He's got the breech, sort of barrel broken as you would, like a
Oh, it's just
exploding gun.
like a thumper.
And
Nice. That
looks
looked very
fantastic.
cool.
There's absolutely stacks of backpacks and bayonet lugs. There's a plasma gun as well that looks like the officer has an option for a bolt gun, a plasma pistol, a bolt pistol, or a rifle.
There we
a
go.
las
Let's
pistol.
get that out.
There's
Pardon
a little
me.
clock like you'd expect an officer in a trench to be using to count down before they run over. There's a smaller
fucking animal.
I mean, I'm absolutely blown away at how many options there are. There is a
Right, we've
question
seen it all
around the
now.
chat, which is, are these compatible with scale-wise with the Deathcore of Krieg models, which Forge World have been making? Looking at them by eye, I'd say they're going to fit very nicely. What we can do in the week is we'll make sure we get some side-by-sides and put them on Warcom or social media for you all to see.
Yeah. So
You'll be quite pleased, actually.
I'm just having a look through the Orks brew as well, and there's loads of options. It looks like you can build almost every Ork as a standard commando, if were you so inclined. So if you just want to have them all with Slugger and Chopper, I think you can probably do it. There's also some options there for the Ork Knob I can see. So the one
very cool.
in the one we've seen so far already has a power claw, but there's also definitely a huge chopper in here as well if you wanted to kit them out with something a bit less technically advanced. It looks like
Great. If we go back to the big camera, I can show you. Some people were asking about the heads and sort of how they were attached. Let me show
That's
you
true.
a couple on the frame. So here you can see the back of the head is probably where it's most useful. The head, that's it, it's like a whole separate item. So obviously it has the piping that goes down towards the rebreather apparatus that the Deathcore Krieg man has, where he has his like Geiger counter and all that sort of thing to detect the toxins. But if you wanted to do head swaps, I don't know, maybe you fancy Cadian heads on your Deathcore, I think without too much conversion work, you'd probably be there. So if that floats your boat, good to know. More terrain. The terrain is chunky. I'm not going to lie, that's a heavy.
That's a lot of terrain. It's a
the
lot
terrain
of
is big.
plastic
I
just
was-
be lying around
maybe
in a
don't
room.
know what scale of the pictures we've seen so far, but
Not
it's
happening.
as big as the Adeptus Mechanicus terrain we've seen so far. Because I suppose it's Orc scale, isn't it? And you've got like some nice big doors on there as well, and kind of big generator fans. Looks like bits of it have been looted from kind of fallen Imperial stuff, but there's an awful lot of just kind of raw Orc scrap stuff mixed in amongst it as well.
So this here is, these are some look like portable barricades, fine. But then attached to this, and maybe you can shed a little light on this, Eddie, we have what looks like a big stick with skulls on, and then two like wedge shapes with skulls on. What's the story with these then?
Yeah, so one of the things about the new edition of Kill Team is that it doesn't use tape measures in the traditional sense. So what you have are various
Tell me
different,
more.
yeah, what you have is various different movement
Interesting.
amounts that things can move. So those markers that you have represent like short range, medium range, long range, and the kind of longest range. And when you talk about how far a model can move, it will be in multiples of those. So it will say like it can move the narrow edge 3 times, or the long thing once, or something like that. And also
get
things like pistol
confusing.
ranges might be represented
Just like my
by
focus
the
on my
pistol
camera.
ranges,
Come on.
the length
There you go.
of one of those.
I'm holding this here because somebody said please show the big Krieg sprue. So I thought, sure, I can do that
Big
while
Krieg
you're talking.
spew.
I'm
Big-
very excited to learn.
Big
more
Krieg
about
spew.
There's a fellow who is the head of our global events for the Warhammer community team called Mike Brandt, and he's been telling me a lot about it. I believe he's been involved in some
Interesting.
of the
Very,
things with the
very
Warhammer studio
specific
team,
rules
and
there.
I'm super excited for.
I'm a
what
bit
sounds
concerned
like
about that, if I'm
a
honest.
really different way of playing. It sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in this box, we obviously have some books. I'm going to quickly whip them open. So, faithful clippers doing their best.
Oh, but it's damaged the
have-
corners on them.
A Kill Team core book, which runs in at.
What did you show on the back there?
142 pages, 144 pages. And this has, I'll give a little flick through, guys. It does look nice here. Somebody says it looks chunky, I agree. So, so the contents we have, welcome to the Kill Zone, 10,000 Years of War, core rules, open play, match play, spec ops, narrative play, which sounds awesome. And then appendix and some data card segments. And then throughout it, obviously, you've got all the things you would expect from the
Go on,
core
what's that
book
next page
from
we've got there?
a game made by the Warhammer
Chaos
Studio.
Space Marine, Deathcore, or Commando, yeah, fair enough.
Fantastic.
Things I know what they're like, they'll
Oh,
ruin things
some of the
themselves.
art on this is absolutely brilliant. That is a Tau Fire Aura being negotiated with by a Tempest Design. It's called a
Ha!
negotiation.
It's good art.
Yeah, this
Take
is
that,
looking
Tau.
really Lovely. I won't flick through the whole thing, although I'm sure that some people in the chat would really like it.
Yeah, so there's a big chunky core book. So that effectively inside this box, you've got the kind of core Kill Team manual, which is all the things you need to kind of play any game of Kill Team.
Trying to scan everything as it goes past to try and spot anything.
Match play campaigns or to narrative campaigns, and both of those have been really carefully thought about for this edition of Kill Team. One of the things that's been really successful with the last edition of Warhammer 40,000 and then with Age of Sigmar is that idea of kind of ongoing narrative campaigns and how you can kind of evolve and develop your warriors as
the book at least has some quotes. Well, we got the Octarius one. I don't know if that's
the match play. Kill Team's always been a really slick match play experience, and the new edition's going to be no exception. One of the things worth saying is the board tile you get in there is the same size and scope as the previous edition of Kill Team. So if you've got any of the terrain boxes from the last edition,
we're seeing all this.
With your 32 by 22 by 32 board pack, that all still works. All your terrain, all the kill zones that you might have made previously are all work with the new edition of Kill Team. So you don't have to worry too much about throw out all your own terrain and get new stuff. But obviously you kind of want a cool orky Kill Team.
So somebody said, question, can you show us a stat block? Assuming a stat
so what is it like? So movement is
like
3
These are the veteran guardsmen
circles. So is that 3 of those areas?
I'll be honest, I don't know what all the words mean yet because I haven't read the rules.
Yeah, so this edition of Kill Team is fundamentally rebuilt from the ground up to be
a complete rework, isn't it? And it looks
a complete rework. So obviously, we don't really have the time in this preview to kind of talk through the rules in detail.
If only we had an entire community website where we could feature articles explaining every detail, Eddie.
If only, Adam. And luckily we do. So if you follow the Warhammer community website over the next days and weeks, we will tell you all about
I'll come back.
the rules for the new edition of Kill Team. There's loads and loads of stuff in there.
Right, so it's been 35 minutes. They said it would be 45 minutes. We have 10 more minutes of whatever. And they've pretty much covered this now. They've just cut this. So
Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines having a fight. So all of the factions that you'd expect to be in the new edition.
People are obviously asking.
Well, they could carry on their fight and their battle. But I think a lot of people are eyeing up those Krieg and Orks, which have been, for the first time really, plastic kits that have been designed with the intention of creating a Kill Team, which is really exciting almost as a concept just for Warhammer 40k.
I have a feeling they'll release boxes of specific squads for Kill Team. They can still be used in 40k, but I think they'll do the same thing, like what they did in Warcry, how they have the deep kit with the fucking fish, that sort of thing. I think they'll do the same.
Specially designed to be Kill Teams. And if you kind of extrapolate that across the rest of Warhammer 40,000 and what the future might hold, it starts to be really exciting. So no more details on that just yet, but you know, that could be pretty cool.
I don't want to see the cards. No one wants to see the cards. No one cares.
So you can slide
Nobody cares about the cards.
Right, but I feel like a kid in a sweet shop.
Gets
and I
free
should
boxes
probably
every day.
be a grown-up
Hello
on my
world.
stream.
Hello all.
So,
Good
let me
message.
look at some
Like
of
that
these
one.
questions.
Good
Can
one.
we build a standard infantry squad with these Krieg models? Yes. Looking at it, yes. As in,
Sweet.
you can have
Very cool.
10 Astra Militarum guardsmen with las guns.
You definitely can, and more than that, you get the options for the special weapons you'd expect as well. So I think you spotted it earlier, Adam. You've got a plasma gun, a melter gun, a grenade launcher, a flamer. All the classics are in there.
Can we get the Krieg artwork separate? Probably at some point. Yeah.
We can probably do that.
That doesn't seem unreasonable. Has the size of Kill Teams in average game increased? Remains to be seen. Looking at it, I'd say about the same sort of size.
Yeah, so the list building is different in the new edition of Kill Team. Obviously, it's brand new rules, brand new
Where the hell does it put them? I know.
environments, brand new abilities.
I mean,
so
that big pile of boxes in the background, like that's got to come down at some point.
Of models,
If they're all built,
expect it to be roughly the same
bin 'em.
size. You're
Get
still
rid.
talking about, you know,
Apart from like say
to
that
a
Sisters of
dozen,
Battle one, that's a
miniatures in your
antique.
Kill Team.
My first official Kill Team dice roll, half the dice went on the floor. Sorry, everybody.
Did you roll well?
Well, I don't know because ones on the floor don't count. There you go. 2 6s, 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 4. Almost.
That's shit roll, really, isn't it?
Um,
Shit roll. Unless it's like mortal wound on 6, but
somebody said,
doubt
count
it.
the number of heads on the death court of Krieg, Sprue. I was once asked to do a very public
5 minutes.
challenge while
Fuck.
I was on a hangar hobby.
Then I'm going to show Black Templars.
A jar of crinkle cut beetroot and said, could I open it? And suddenly I was being watched by like nearly 1,000 people opening a jar. So counting Krieg heads feels like a similar sort of feat of skill, and we'll leave it at that. I am aware we have eulogized over this amazing set for quite a while, Eddie. It is amazing. Let me just quickly rattle through those questions I was writing down and see if...
Don't care about questions. Don't care about them.
Is it a limited edition list made to order? It's going to be available whilst it's last. All the constituent components within it that you might need for the rest of your plate.
If we get Black Templars,
at some point,
I'll see off the rest of my cider.
Don't panic, but do buy it.
Pipline bet. Pipline guarantee. That's all that is.
New. Yes, they're entirely new and designed especially for awesome skirmish combat. Miniatures are not push fit. It's a multi-part kit, more akin to many of the models throughout the rest of the Warhammer 40,000 range. Are there rules for other teams and factions within the new edition? Yes. Not inside the box, is that right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there'll be a compendium book released alongside Kill Team at launch, which effectively rounds up all the rest of the stuff in Warhammer 40,000 and allows you to carry on playing with all the different factions.
Okay, cool.
There's a question in the stream that says, is there stuff other than Kill Team in this stream? Yes. That's why Raph is trying to move us along, because I spent too long being excited about my box.
Here we go.
Commandos.
Yes, come on.
Is there a good way to get into Kill? Is this a good way to get into Kill Team? I'd say it might be the best way to get into.
Could well be the best way ever. Yeah.
Is there a shovel? At least 3. I think 4.
At least 3. It could be 4.
4 shovels. That's nearly enough.
Separately later, yes. Other gifts opted on, yes. When? Soon. Will Chaos Space Marines have 2 wounds in this new edition? I don't know, because I don't know what stats mean in Kill Team yet. I think things have got loads.
They better get 2 wounds soon. I've got some fucking bastards up there.
If you're as excited about
There you
Kill
go.
Teams as we are, why don't we play another video and we'll be right back.
Let's go. Black Templars, come on. I don't even collect them, but I want them. They look really cool.
Commander, the intelligence report has arrived.
Finally. Put it on the screen.
The mission is completely overrun.
Tyranids.
Evacuation code Omega 44. All personnel with clearance Delta or above. This is report to the nearest. We need reinforcement. Copy. Final evacuation order. Planet is gone.
Which system is this? What am I looking at?
All of them, sir.
What am I looking
The
at?
entire sector.
And Crimson, his arrogance is called fail. This is General Order Alpha 9, Xenos threat level forlorn. Report.
I want everything you have on Sigma Ostari now.
Issue Order 827 Extremis. Activate the kill teams. I need to know what's going on in the Octaria sector.
What?
Boom, there it is, an exciting palette cleanser to move us on from the Kill Team and back into the more mainstream Warhammer 40,000. Eddie, what did we just see?
Cool. So this is.
Although new Tyranid
Octarius
rules, so that'll be.
Octarius, which is the next.
Which
big
means you might get new
narrative
Tyranids
for Warhammer
after this.
Kill
Or see
Team
some
ties
anyway.
into this because the Kill Team new box set is set within this region of space, but all of Warhammer 40,000 is going to be impacted by this new narrative. For those of you who know your Warhammer 40,000,
Wagwan
Octarius is a
Baka?
region of space
Oh,
which
can't
is
really
backed
focus, there we
by
go, got it.
Empire,
I can't drink that, I need to
Imperium
save it
space
till
which
Black
basically
Templars. Fuck, I'm
directed,
hungry now.
a Tyranid
Third
hive
station,
fleet
isn't it?
into the middle
I'm
of this
hungry as
Orc
well.
Empire in the hope
What we
that
got,
what
we
would
got,
happen
we
is
got, we
they'd
got.
sort of wipe
All
each
coming
other
in
out
scrap
with
as well.
construction
Go on,
and
lads.
stuff. That didn't actually happen. What happened was that the Tyranids managed to find loads of biomass to eat and basically chowed down and made loads more Tyranids. And the Orcs have had the time of their life fighting against these massive, enormous monsters and got even tougher and stronger.
Dire's hard.
Huge enemy armies.
I know,
Tyranid
we need
hive
Black
fleets,
Templars.
and this massive Orc war are both stronger than either were to start with, and are now threatening to break out of the Octarius region. And the Imperium is desperately trying to A, keep them contained, and B, undermine both of these different forces.
I just noticed there's a
surging
kill
to
team
try
guys
to
down there.
things
Nice.
like the kill team missions that we know about. Undermine both the Tyranids and the Orcs to make sure that there isn't a clear winner in this battle. But effectively,
We
it's
got-
just
we
a
got
really
Gargants,
cool
we got
narrative thing for Warhammer 40,000.
one of
We
those
haven't
cool
really
Deathwatch ships in the
explored it before. We've
background.
seen Octarius mentioned
Ogrin.
in kind of, footers and codexes and stuff, and a kind of like throwaway lines.
Is that mechanic guy on the bottom left? Is that the
here
new
and
model?
But this is the first time we're really going to dive into that sector in detail and
The
find
fucking
out what's
squig
going on.
refueler.
And there's an
I'm
awful
sure I've seen it
lot
before,
of
but I don't
stuff going
know.
on, from a kind of political perspective in there.
Oh,
You've got visitors with various different agendas who think
Dire's.
that, they should let the Tyranids win, or some of them think they should let the Orcs win, or some of them think they should keep them contained, some of them think that's the terrible idea. There's all these kind of different shadowy figures pulling the strings in the background.
Don't know what that
on the front
orc,
lines, you've got these
sort
immense
of
kind of three-way battle
car at the bottom's
between
going to intend to
Tyranids,
do
the
here.
Orcs, and the Imperium.
He's going to drive into a load of
Desperately
scrap
trying
and
to
crash.
this sector.
Great, cheers,
And
Orc.
all of this is wrapped up in a new campaign book that
Need a
brings
white dog.
loads and loads of narrative, but also brings loads of
Oh, what we got, we got.
lots of
New Orc boys,
different
bottom
playthroughs,
screen, New Orc boys.
and also some
There they are.
different armies.
Knew we'd see them.
So it's a really fun thing for Warhammer 40,000. If
They're
you want
nice.
your narrative
What else we got?
It also gives people
Top right, is that guy
quite
new?
wide
There's a
spectrum
commander
of
looking
things
guy.
about Warhammer 40,000.
They look like-
You are
I can't
Imperial,
tell.
a number of different sort of
Sorry, it's kind of behind my camera, so I
orcs
can't really
through
see.
to, the Tyranid hordes. then there is something here for you, and that is a delight.
That's definitely new Orc boys at the bottom though.
That's
Very cool.
We are not done by any stretch. Should we go to what I think?
Come on, I want to order the pizza. I'm hungry.
I'm pretty excited about something, but this might also come out in a second.
Right, you gits.
Hey, Orc stuff.
Enough mucking about with them plans.
Oh, you
What
mate,
says
mate,
it's
really,
time
mate.
for the war.
40k.
They know what's coming for them, but what they don't know is we've got even bigger squigs.
Hey, there we go. Big old squigs.
Squigs so big they can pull an old rig of boys, and
Oh, that
they're
was so-
dead killing. The boss has got himself a squig with massive teeth.
Saw that on a
He ain't
community
gonna
thing.
walk like the rest of you sad lot. What? How are you?
Whoa, that's a cool model.
He's the boss. He can do what he fucking well likes. Doomies reckon they's got a gargan all nice and dead. They'll never suspect the boss is using it as a super shooty command
Ooh,
center.
so as much as we had the
Also, I heard
Great White Squig.
great white squig is here with that hard as nails boss scrag badge. So even
It
the
looks
regular
cool.
boys have got some new stuff.
Yeah.
And about them copters, the mechs forgot how to build since Black.
Hey.
Well. they
Yes, new Orc Death Copters. Yes.
right. That's the signal, boys.
Is that War Boss?
Time to get stuck in.
Very cool. Yeah. That was nice. Like that. Oh, thanks, Becca. It's a nice shirt. It's my England shirt.
What an amazing trailer with so much.
It's like Ben 10's grandpa's shirt. It does,
covered off in it.
yes.
Big shout out to the Deathcopter reference as well. Maybe my favourite thing in a video today. Eddie, should we talk Orcs?
Yeah,
Mm.
so just loads and loads
Do
and
it,
loads of
God's
orcs
sake.
is basically what we're getting. So this is one of the largest Warhammer 40,000 releases we've seen for quite some time.
That's
It's on the
awesome.
same
That is
scale of
such a
clothes
cool
we've
model.
seen for Necrons and for Space Marines last year.
So cool.
Just absolutely oodles of
That's
loads
really
of
cool.
stuff, some really weird and wonderful and wacky and wild stuff. All coming along with the brand new codex when it drops. This is probably the biggest. This is the biggest kit. And it's
Boo.
just
Ooh, and
enormous.
Becca,
This is
I'm
the
Welsh.
kill rig.
Grow up.
Effectively, what you've got here.
Wait, just
is,
don't be Welsh.
This is the
It's easy,
Beast
innit?
Snagger kind of transportation system. They've got loads of kind of big scary weaponry
I like
stuff
the big
on
cannon on the
rig.
front.
They've attached the rig to
Very
an
cool.
enormous great squig creature at the front of it, and then at the top, at the back there, they've got an orc psyker which is kind of chained into this
Oh, yeah.
kind of huge orc effigy skull thing, which basically blasts laser bolts of pure War energy at the enemy as it charges forward. The thing is like the size of a Bane blade. It's enormous. It's got a kind of really weird, sort of almost nautical sort of theme. It looks almost like a bunch of orc whalers on the back of a ship, doesn't it?
Yep.
There's a
Well, and just to pick on that, if Raph moves the next slide along, the kit makes
Ah.
options.
It's a hunter
The first
rig.
one is with a weird boy on the tower channeling crazy orc psychic
I
power.
like that one.
And
That's
then this one
better,
is
actually. I
quite
quite like that.
literally orcs out to catch something big, which fits beautifully with the sort of motif of.
What's going on with that
Beast
grot in
Snagger
the fucking tube?
Yeah, so there's loads of really cool, fun stuff for the Orc army as well. So you've got a harpoon on the back of it there, so you can imagine this thing like riding alongside next to like an Imperial Knight or something, and they're trying to harpoon it through the leg and drag it over. You can also use it as a transport thing, so you can fit, I think, 15 of your Beast Snaggers on the back of it. So you can, if you want.
Pile them on it.
Yeah, you can have a mechanized Beast Snagger army pulled by squigs, which go charging off into the middle of the enemy army, and it kicks out an enormous amount of damage as well. So not only is it a transport,
I like that kind
it's a
of
gun
pole
back, it's
spear that's got a
absolutely
chainsaw on the
combat.
end of
You
it,
also
and that's really cool.
fight
The guy standing on the edge of the
squig thing can
sort of
fight.
rig.
You can use it as a delivery mechanism to put some Beast
Very
Snagger
nice.
orcs right into the heart of the enemy army. They're really good in the game. The model looks incredible. It's just a really fun concept. So you can imagine, a weird boy version of one of these, backed up by a few hunter rigs, as the kind of core of your army.
I
packed full
dread
of
to think
boys
how much that'll cost.
charging.
Oh my god. That's a
new
cool
Beast
model.
Boss model.
Look at that.
Yeah, so we have
What's the deal with a Beast Boss?
What's the Beast Boss? So Beast Boss is kind of the War Boss equivalent for Beast Snagger Orcs, and effectively this is a guy who finds the biggest, scariest enemy monster he can and puts his chopper through its head. And as you can see on his back there, he's got the pelts and skulls of the various different creatures he's managed to take down over the years.
I like the
guy who
targeting
leads the
squig on the
charge,
side of his shoulder.
physique
It's just
in,
got a
in
fucking
back of one of the
sight in its
ones
eye.
that
It's been
really
tattooed
confident
on.
in, getting to the enemy nice and quick. He's also got a little squig targeting shooter on his back because he's not really too fussed about, shooting himself. So he leaves the shooting
Drinking.
little targeting squig he's got there.
I really like the detail.
Squigs
of
are evolving.
one
They're getting better.
Arm on one end, but you can see the hand inside the claw for how the power claw works. And the
Fuck
other end
painting
looks
that.
like a snake.
That bit of hand inside the claw. Oh,
Yeah, so
God.
Snaggers are very
Oh,
with,
that's awesome.
snake bites for the orcs.
Carcharodons are
And
fuming.
This guy here is the best example of that. This is Mozrog
So cool.
Snagbad. This is the rider of Chomper the Great White Squig. This is a new named character for snake bites. And the
Terminator,
biggest,
look at his head.
baddest,
It's like Shroom.
beast boss.
If anyone who actually
basically.
knows me is in
He's
the
almost
chat,
like a
will
myth,
get that reference.
in orc culture. He was eaten by a squigoth at one point, but he was so tough the squigoth spat him out, which is why he's got bionics down one side of him. So his Squigosaurus, as they call it, that he rides around on, is the biggest, scariest example of its breed, and he himself is effectively like a war boss. So that is an absolute wrecking machine in close
That's an
combat.
incredible
He's leading
model.
the charge for a whole bunch of beast snaggers.
Yeah, and then of course the kit gives you two options. So,
Okay.
if you want a regular beast boss, but you don't want it to walk like all the peons, then here you have the beast boss on Squigosaur option. Again, an incredible model. You really are.
That's such a cool
super
sword.
for choice with the beast snaggers and the orcs in general. Incredible looking model.
I think what you don't quite get from that miniature alone is just
Yes,
the
the
size of
boys.
thing. Like it is
Sluggers and
enormous. It
choppers.
towers over a dreadnought. That is a war boss on the back of it, not just a kind of regular sized orc. So it is a big old miniature.
Now, a few eagle-eyed people spotted as we were talking through Octarius, or indeed as we were, as people have seen the back of the Gaunt's Ghost box, there might be some new orc boys on the town, and they are dead right. There are.
They're very cool.
Yeah, so a great new selection of orc boys. They've got all the stuff you'd expect.
Becca's drooling, I know. She can see those orc boys. She's drooling.
In some ways,
all over the shop.
kind of perhaps not the most exciting part of the new orc release because you've got these kind of huge, great centerpiece kits, but
Very
probably
cool.
the thing that you're going to include most of in your army. So it's great to have some new options. They're not so wildly different from the current ones that they wouldn't sit nice and at home alongside the current range. I think a lot of orc players like me spent an awful lot of time painting up their orc boys. I think I've got about 120 various states of painting completeness. So it's nice to have these at the same sort of scale, but they certainly add a lot more dynamism and a lot more options. So you've got ones that kind of run forward, you've got ones that are kind of mid-chop, you've got ones in holding their heavy weapons in much more dynamic ways than we've seen before.
If you are a war boss with a sizable war already, these are going to go really nicely inside of it.
Yeah, and if
Yes,
you've got a
Defcopters.
scratch, then you can either kind of mix them in with the other ones, or you could just go for the new stuff.
Defcopters, it's been a while.
It's been a little while, so we've had a kind of resin one for a little while, but it's certainly not the same. Certain players of a certain vintage will remember Assault on Black Reach, which came with loads of Defcopters, but that had been for a very long time the only place that you'd ever been able to get hold of them. So now what you've got is a new multi-part Defcopter kit. It's got loads of cool options in it. You can have, have
cool
a look at some
looking.
of the things already there. You've got a kind of big bomb on that lead one, and a zappy gun that's different from the standard weapon we've got. All the rest of them are kind of packed with rockets and stuff. They're not so dissimilar again from the Black Reach ones that if you've got a WAR that's including some of those classic Defcopters, you certainly could have these sitting alongside them and they wouldn't look wildly out of place. But
just noticed that somebody in the chat pointed out a feature which has killed me. There's little rockets on the prop blades.
That's good.
how'd you think they make it spin, right?
I hadn't noticed. That's amazing. Thank you, whoever that was in the chat who said that. Fahrenheit 42. I've looked at these several times and not
Is
noticed.
this me or is the
I love
Orcs
the
world
one
has
with the
spelt
chopper
wrong?
there, 'cause he's you can imagine like an orc mentality.
That's how you spell orc
in. It's got rocket, but I'm also
in
going to
Warhammer.
take with me a knife because I might get close enough that I can also stab someone while I'm riding my helicopter. I think only
it's
orcs,
optimistic, isn't it?
only orcs would go for it. So this
Okay.
is coming kind of out of nowhere. This is the Big Ed Boss Bunker. What is a Big Ed Boss Bunker? It is effectively a Gargant's head that has been either decapitated or they haven't quite finished building the rest of the Gargant yet. And effectively, it is the command center for your war boss. So if you have either a beast boss or a war boss, or kind of whoever, big mecha or whatever you want to use to lead your orc army, you can sit him in the middle of this and he can kind of shout his commands through the enormous great speaker system. On top of that, and all of the boys nearby can know what's going on. It's also got like absolutely oodles of shooters all over it, so you can
That's only got oodles. It's got four, really.
Load of shooters off the back of it if you want to.
Four.
And it sits really nicely alongside all of the orc terrain. If you were so inclined to pick up the Octarius kill team set, this added to that kill team set would fit right in as part of your battlefield.
Okay, it looks really cool though. It looks really good.
The town, which I do and will be doing.
I love it. I also like the sort of loud hailer things at the top.
You can just imagine an orc standing there being like, oi, 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 charge him.
Oi, lads! It's Umi Geeks over there!
Wow, there is a lot of orc stuff on the horizon, and orcs are bearing down on us quite soon, is that right?
They are coming very, very soon. So, previous previews, we have announced the Beast Snagger Army launch box. And we can reveal today that that will be available to pre-order next Saturday.
Ooh, that's going to sell out well fast.
Excited about Orks. You do not have to wait very long at all before you can start getting your hands on some of those. That is the one with all of the Beast Snagger infantry. It's got the Beast Snagger Squig Hog boys, a few characters.
Exactly, there's no cannons you can shoot down a Liam Russ. Done.
Most importantly of all, if you
fire a
want
fucking shell into it, done.
your new Orc Codex, that's the first place you'll be able to get your hands on that. And then, if that box isn't your speed, the rest of the Orc stuff will be along very soon after it. So not long.
Very
actually
nice.
to wait. If you're an Orc player, you are about to be
Fingers
absolutely
crossed there's something one
spoiled.
more.
You've got that box
Better be
set,
Black Templars.
team on the way, which has your whole battlefield of Orc terrain and your new commando.
It's going to look
You've
great,
got
isn't it?
all of your amazing squigs. You've got new boys. You've got Death
Yep.
Doctors. You've got a bunch of snakebite characters coming. You know, this is basically the best year ever if you're an Orc.
Yes, I think you could be right. So, I think I'm going to have to check my notes. We've gone blasting through so much stuff so very fast. We are 10 minutes behind schedule. I hope you've been enjoying
Still
yourself
10
as much
minutes,
as we have. Now is the part where it says begin to wrap up, which means we test the resolve of people who to stay in because maybe it's not all done. But I will begin to wrap up by thanking the 37,500 people who are currently
Said
in the
it's
chat
not all
enjoying
done.
this
Did he say that? I don't even know.
online.
Stay around to
We
the end
have
though.
had Warhammer 40,000 kill team Octarius with plastic multi-part Death Corps and plastic multi-part Orc Commandos, huge piles of scenery, amazing new rules that I can't wait to start reading tonight. Beside myself, we've seen the next narrative arc for Warhammer 40,000 with the Octarius book, seeing Inquisitor Cryptman's mad schemes coming to fruition, and I can't wait to see how that all pans out for the old man. We have got Orks, like a literal green.
So I think it'll either be, if they do something else, Inquisitorial Retinues, because they're talking about Inquisitor Cryptman quite a lot, or Black Templars. So I'm thinking.
We would like to thank you for choosing to spend some time with us, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Eddie, thank you for knowing all this stuff, making me look just a little bit.
Just love Orcs.
Making
Come on.
me look just a little bit cleverer than I maybe really am. For
Want
pressing
something?
buttons and being an absolute savant with all the images and stuff, and for organising the quiz. I hope everybody enjoyed that ahead of time. To Notley and the Moderati, who have made sure that the chat has flowed smoothly. It has been a delight.
Come on!
Last time we did one of these things, somebody complained in the chat that we didn't leave them with a tease at the end of the show. So we're going to say goodbye, thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Come on! Please be Black Templars. Please be Black Templars.
Suffer not the unclean to live. Lead us from death to victory. From falsehood.
Oh, it's gonna be Black Templars. Oh my god, is it? Get in!
Despair to hope. From faith to slaughter. Lead us to his strength and an eternity.
Oh my god, here we go. Primaris Sword Brethren, here we go, baby.
Fill our hearts. Death, war, and blood.
Whoa!
Serve the Emperor. In the name of Dawn.
Gone. Ah. Alright, thank you everybody. That was very good. Big up the Black Templars. Big up the Orks. What else was there? There's the Krieg. Very cool. Very good stream. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining. That was good. Very much enjoyed that. And we would call that a night. Have a good one everybody. And remember, football is coming home tomorrow. We're going to kick the shit out of those Italians. I hope. I really hope